Hi, I'm Erik Weiderholtz from Perlisten Audio. This is our first year here at CEDIA. Just showing off some of our in-room speakers. This is the S7T. So the S series is our flagship. This is the S7T, and 7 means 7 drivers. T means tower. There's the S4B as well, so 4 drivers, bookshelf. And really what's great, a lot of high-end companies, when they start talking about their products, it's new shiny materials and talking about little tweaks. What's really different about us is passive beamforming technology. We call it the directivity pattern control. And a lot of people you'll just see are just throwing more tweeters in a driver to make them more efficient. And they look at our speaker and kind of think that's originally what we're doing. But it's much more reasonable, and there's a useful reason of why we're doing that. So we can actually control the vertical directivity by using this waveguide and using passive, essentially passive DSP would be a kind of a coined term. Most of the time you need DSP to do beamforming, so you need an amp and a DSP for every channel. In order to do beamforming, I need to control time, amplitude, and phase. And you say passively, how can I control time? Well, I can by offset. So we have this tweeter, mid-range tweeter array above and below the waveguide. Those are actually mid-ranges. And those play from about 1 kilohertz to 3.5 kilohertz. So at that time, all 3 drivers are playing in unison. And before all the wavelengths start canceling and getting crazy, then we roll off the 2 mid-ranges. But that allows us to control the vertical from plus or minus 30 degrees. And then have a very wide horizontal due to the waveguide. So then the beryllium tweeter in the center goes from 1 kilohertz on up to 40 kilohertz. And from 3.5 kilohertz on up, it's on its own. And then that's not where it stops. We hand off the frequencies to the mid-woofers, or above and below it. And we can also control the directivity of those. And then finally the mid-woofer, or the final woofers. And that allows us to control all the way down to 300 hertz, the vertical directivity, which is really unheard of. What's the advantage? Is it makes things sound better in a room, a more even response. You can't eliminate the room, and actually the room is really important in how a speaker sounds. And all that average energy called sound power is really important. And we share all of the data on our loudspeakers. You see on-axis, off-axis power response. Harman did a lot of studies 20 plus years ago of why sound power is really important in making a great loudspeaker. And it's about all the energy that's reflected off the room is the same frequency response as what arrives to your ear from the main wave. And our ear is really good at seeing those differences and hearing those differences. So a good even response of all the reflections is really important. And so having a really good off-axis response is what makes that happen. The S7T is already 4 Best of Year awards, Stereophile, 2 German magazines, and 1 UK magazine, and those are the premier magazines in those countries. So they're like the Stereophile equivalent, so that's pretty unheard of. So a great start there with the S7T. What we really do is we take all that product and all those technologies, and then we can start talking about fully designed, 100% ground up with Klippel designed drivers made in our factory, from the tweeter designs, the 100% ComSol designed, all the simulations to make something that complex happen. So that's really cool about that product. And that evolves into all of our products. So we take that trickle down technology, and we'll talk a little bit about this, about the in-walls in a minute. Same in-walls, so the S7T, we have a flagship in-wall for home theaters, has the exact same frequency response. So this same award-winning loudspeaker is in an in-wall. Other than smaller enclosure, so it doesn't play as low, it's exactly the same drivers, components, and frequency response, so you're ensured really world-class sound. So that's really cool. And then addition of subwoofers for those in-walls. So if you want to talk over here a little bit about the subwoofers, what's really unique about these is a push-pull technology. There's 2 woofers in this design. They one's inverted mechanically, but acoustically in phase. So second order distortion is reduced by 10 to 12 dB. So that really allows a really low distortion accurate. We believe in sealed for low group delay, for blending well in the room, and also blending well into main speakers. And so it really truly helps the subwoofer disappear. Really cool touchscreen on the top, so all the functions are really easy to get to. You don't have to bend over the back and try and look at that. So the main functions are controlled in here. And then we have a Bluetooth connection. So our app enables to control up to 8 subwoofers in unison with a master volume control. 10 PEQs times 3 for every setting, for every input. So that allows you lots of flexibility to fix all those standing room modes in your room, and the power to blend in with the mains well. So very dynamic, transient, 3,000 watts of power. So what we really stress in all of our subs, even our smallest 10-inch sub, has the same 16 hertz response versus our flagship D215S. So we don't scale bandwidth and force the customer to buy the flagship just to get low frequency response. What we believe in is scaling SPL, meaning if a customer wants a lower price point or they want more subs and they don't need massive amounts of output, they can use 1, 2, 3, or 4 10s, have the same maximum low frequency performance, and maybe even less volume of a speaker in a room as an eyesore, and then still reach the SPL levels and still have the same great low frequency extension. So that really gives a customer a lot of options in how to use our products. Same app, same DSP, all the power is still in all those products, and so we don't degrade features or do anything like that from model to model. So first we have the flagship S-Series. We talked about the same great frequency response. We also talk about the data that we share on all of our products. So you go on to Perlisten.com and our downloads page, and we absolutely share all of our data. Very few high-end companies do that. And so we're really proud of that, and actually really has made a difference to a lot of our, especially installers who know where to position the speaker, so it makes the best sound, most even response across all the home theater seats. It's really important. When you pay a lot of money for a speaker, you want a great experience, and we're proving to you how to get that experience. 8 models total. There's center channels, LRs in both the 5 and the 7 series. So you have an option for acoustically transparent, you just use 3 LRs. Or if you're a media room and maybe you can't have a screen, you have the availability to run a horizontal LCR. All THX Dominus. So what does that mean? It just means really high output capabilities at really low THD. So the S7 is 117 dB at 1 meter with 3% distortion in second and third. So nowhere in the THD curve can it get higher than that. So that really enables very large room installs to have the reference level SPL to seating. Surrounds also available for that experienced height end and low end. And then also the R series, which we really haven't talked about yet. We have R series in the in-room speakers, but we also have them in the in-wall series. So approximately half the price of the flagship. So that allows a great experience at a little lower price point. Same trickle-down technologies, waveguide, little different materials, but same great frequency response that we really stick to. A nice flat, even response. Let the recording or the movie be as it was intended. And that's really a pretty good roundup of all the products that we're offering here. Thank you.